outside the building, pandering for your attention like a prostitute. No, I won't have sex with you, but thank you for coming. It's a bad pun. I do what you will with that. I'm not performing tonight, but I am the host. My name's Izana McConan. So, yeah, president of the club. Yeah, send me off. That's what I like to hear. Thank you. Let me get another one. Yeah, okay. Sorry, I need to get hyped up, you know what I mean? All right, so for our first performer, actually, let me talk about our club first. I'm gonna hype us up for a minute. We're the Comedy Conglomerate, if you didn't know that already. We're a stand-up club on campus. We're like the only ones that do it here. We're like the local scene. If after the show you're disappointed by that, we have an Instagram. We're comcon.vt. It's where we post all of our events. You know, like what shows are coming up, etc., etc. We have a Discord, you can join it. And we'll be doing a lot of stuff next semester too. We have one show after this. This is our second to last show this semester. So, I'll take a boo for that, honestly, that's pretty sad, you're right. All right, so for our first performer, we have everyone's favorite Aussie, Hewson.
Hey guys, thank you so much for coming out tonight. Alright, I'd like to start off with a story about loss 2 weeks ago. I was hanging out with some friends in the downtown area of Blacksburg, walking along, and this guy stops me and he looks at me and he says, "I know you," which is, by the way, not something you want to hear from a stranger at night in the downtown area of Blacksburg. But he stops me and he says, "You're one of those comedians from the Milk Parlor." So like, my first reaction is, "Oh my gosh, yeah, I'm actually funny enough to be remembered." Take that, Dad. And, you know, we exchange our, like, awkward thank you, hi, and then I pretend that I'm sober enough to be consciously aware of what he's saying. And then we walk off, and I start thinking, and I realize, I don't want to be famous. Reason I don't want to be famous is because I'm an idiot. And I've come to terms with that. I've come to terms with how dumb I am and the fact that I fuck up constantly. But I don't want everybody else to know this. I'm fine with it being a private thing. Like, you see, if I'm not famous, then I can, like, trip over my own foot, and somebody will just point at me and just be like, "Look at that fucking moron." I bet he gets no bitches. Which may be true. But at least we'll know that, you know? But if I'm famous, and I trip over my own foot, then somebody's gonna point at me and be like, "Look, that's Hewson. That's like the 19th time you tripped over today." Fun fact, do you know he was jumped in the head twice as a baby? That's probably why he's such a fucking moron. That's true, by the way. I was dropped on my head as a child. It didn't affect me whatsoever. Anyway. So, with my luck as well, there'll probably be like a wiki page or something about how many times that I've swallowed things a day. There'll be like a category for how many times I've choked on something a day. Probably be a category for how many times I choked on food, how many times I choked on water, how many times I choked on Hot Wheels cars that they keep telling me not to put in my mouth. Like, really tasty, you know? The worst part is that if this website comes up, I'll probably come home and my parents will be throwing me a party for the fact that I finally didn't choke on something for a week straight. Yeah, it was a fun weekend. You know what else happened that weekend? There was a sophomore celebration thing on the drill field. I don't know if any of you guys went to that, but there was a bounce house there. It was one of those bounce houses where, like, there were platforms and you stand with those big long foam things and like whack the shit out of your friend, trying to make them fall over. And I really wanted to go on it, but none of my friends wanted to go on it with me. So I was like a little bit disappointed, but there was this cadet, and this cadet was like, "I'll go do it with you." So now, guys, a little piece of advice. If a cadet ever challenges you to a fight, take him up on the offer. Always take him up on the offer. It's the best decision I've ever made. You will regret it in the moment. Some of you will die, but it'll be fun, so you know, worth the risk. So anyway, me and this cadet, we're standing on this bounce house, you know, hitting each other with our two soft, long things, getting a little sore and sweaty and bruised. He was grunting a lot as well. I don't know if he was enjoying it or not. just out there hitting each other. And then he looks at me and he's like, wouldn't it be funny if, I don't know, I tackled you right now? And I look at him like, haha, yeah, that would be funny. Next thing I know, I'm on the ground, tits down, ass up, with a cadet lying on top of me. So he gets up, laughing, and I'm like, I'm not gonna take this. So I turn around, and I tackle him full face and ass, push him over onto the ground. Unfortunately though, I wear earrings, so I did not realize that my earring would be stuck in this cadet's pants after I tackled him. So, this is the reason that I went to the medical center and told them that I spent my weekend on top of a cadaddy. All right, thank you guys so much for coming. Have a good night.
Wow, that had me hot and bothered. Okay, just imagining it, you know. Next up, we have another really awesome comedian. He's kind of new at this, so give him a big round of applause. Pablo Diaz.
I didn't say anything. Why are you clapping? No, for real, I haven't said anything. What? I don't understand. Like, I haven't said anything yet. So, like, when a comedian shows up and people start clapping, like, I have the right to say whatever I want, and all of you will be accountable. Okay? Like, I can say, I want the abolition of all the alcohol in Virginia. And the day of tomorrow. This is not double A. Anyways, yeah, the day of tomorrow, there can be a law that's passed that abolishes booze in Virginia, and all of you will be accountable. How are you getting laid? Are you gonna go up to a girl sober? Good one, right? Anyways. So, my name is Pablo. No, my parents did not think that through. I can guarantee you that 50% of the time I meet someone new in Blacksburg, they'll go, Pablo? Like Pablo Escobar? Like, out of all the famous Pablos out there, Pablo Picasso, the painter, or like Pablo Neruda, the poet, freaking Pablo the Penguin from the Guardians. I just, kindly have to say, yes, my parents named me Pablo Escobar because they saw a bright future ahead of me. Yeah, I can just imagine the conversation, something like, yeah, should we name him Pablo? And my dad would be like, I mean, Balding Bill's character, so we might as well. Anyways, I went down to Hewson for an interview a couple of weeks ago, and the guy that picked me up from the airport was Lebanese. And he asked me for my name, obviously, and silly me, I told him the truth. And I was like, yeah, my name is Pablo, nice to meet you. And he's like, oh, Pablo, you have something for me? This man was convinced I had a bag of cocaine at my ass. In fact, he was so convinced I started to question if I had a bag of cocaine at my ass. Anyways, I blame the show Narcos for minimizing my chances of getting a date on Tinder. But yeah, in case my name didn't give it away, I'm not from the US. I was actually born in Spain when I was 12. And I actually became a US citizen a couple of weeks ago. Again, you don't know where this is going, so I don't know where you're clapping. I can guarantee you that my life has changed dramatically. I have the sudden urge to fight communism every once in a while. My Iraqi roommate wants to marry me for a green card. That's new. I have mixed feelings about the Spanish-American War. I can go to McDonald's as a local. I wear socks with flip-flops, which is an American thing. I can guarantee you that. Unfortunately. And every time I'm done with someone's bullshit, I just go, dude, I can't hear you or my freedom here. I don't want to argue about that. But the best part about being an American is that I can make fun of all of you hillbillies without fearing to get deported. So, that's where I'm going with this. You know, if we take it back to the Declaration of Independence, which is the big loophole in American history, signed by Thomas Jefferson in 1776, written by Thomas Jefferson. And he claims that all men are created equal. Unless you're black, Asian, Hispanic, Pacific Islander, Jewish, Italian, Polish, any sexual orientation that isn't straight, or a woman. If you're all of the above, okay? Also, the last line of the Star Spangled Banner says, "At the home of the Braves," which essentially means that if you're not an American, you're just a big wuss, or part of the French military. Yeah, but as much as I love America, I love being a European, especially a Spaniard, because at the end of the day, I don't need booze to get laid. So, that's my bit. Thank you for coming.
Is it me? Or is like the sexual tension in here just getting like higher and higher? Like, Jesus Christ. First with Dylan and now with Pablo. Yeah. I'm straight, I promise, I think. Anyways, next up we have a comedian that always wows the crowd, Anthony Golini. Keep that applause going.
Hello, welcome to our show. Actually, I have a question for all the mind readers in the audience. Alright, that was a great joke. Actually, speaking of which, I wanted to thank you guys. We are a little bit on a tight schedule today. We have a lot of performers and not that much time. So I want to thank you for not laughing too much after every joke. It saves us a lot of time. No, don't laugh too much. I have an older cousin, and when I was growing up with him, like we used to hang out, and we would play Monopoly, and he was always the banker, and he would always win in Monopoly. And when I got older, I finally realized he was stealing from the bank every time, and so, like, you know, that's cheap. And so recently, this older cousin of mine, he got into legal trouble. He went to jail, and I got suspicious because he's a treasurer for the county. So I thought he was doing the same thing as he was doing before. But thankfully, I looked into it. He got convicted of a much lesser crime. He was just a sex offender. I was scared he was embezzling funds. He was just a sex offender, thankfully. Don't embezzle funds. There was this one time, so I have the smallest amount of body hair right here. It's like you couldn't even see it. And my father is naturally hairless. So one day I was wearing my crop top. I was like wearing my blouse or whatever, you know, like as I normally do. And my father saw the slightest amount of body hair, and he got so confused. He said, "Anthony, where did you get that body hair from?" And you know, I gave him the look, and then we slowly turned our heads, looked at my mom. You know how it is. Yeah. I think I'm not going to talk about my mom's hairy chest, I'm sorry. Alright, I didn't have a very long set for you planned today, but there is one thing before I go. As some of you might know, Gilbert Gottfried, one of the funniest comedians in the world, recently died, and I'm very upset about it. He was one of my influences, and our next performer is Bea, and she has a 10-minute set, and I think it would just be better for all of us instead to just have a 10-minute moment of silence for Gilbert Gottfried. What? Okay. Sorry.
Guys, hello. Thank you performing as a comedian. Yeah. So if it's shit, you guys just be kind. All right. So I'm gonna talk about my cats. Jasper is my gray cat, and I think he went through a lobotomy before I adopted him because he is just completely crazy. You know, I'm just there chilling, and then he looks at me, and then he just get on his forepaws, his hair's all up, and then he has a maniac look in his eyes as if he had seen the ugliest, nastiest demon, and then he just runs sideways like, and then I was like starting to get concerned, but I remember I wasn't wearing makeup that morning, so that could have triggered him. I understand. But sometimes he wakes me up at 3 a.m. doing parkour in my room. Who else here is a cat person, by the way? Yeah, guys, I love cats, I have two, but when it's 3 a.m. and you wake up and your cat is doing that shit, and you look at, he's on top of the door, no, psych, he's on top of the kitchen cabinets, on the kitchen counter, on my face, it's like, it's 3 a.m., Jasper, what are you doing? And also, sometimes, even though he does all this, I'm sure he likes me, because he comes to me, he will start like biting on my feet and licking my feet. I'm like, what are you doing? And then he does that with everybody he likes, It's super weird. But I don't know what to do, but I'm sure he likes me, even though he goes on my desk, on my nightstand, and then he knocks shit down, he's like, this is ugly. This is some ugly shit. Why did you buy this? Can you fly? That's his laugh. And then, but when he does that, I kind of get a little suspicious. And also, there's a thing that he does. Like every time I open the door, he flies right out. As if he was trying to say, "Fuck this bitch," through his actions. But that's just my therapist's theory. Okay? We are not sure. And he also told me not to worry about the feet thing because it could just be a fetish. Some people like that, and it's okay. And also, what, you guys don't talk about your cats to your therapist? Come on, and my cats are insane. I have another cat, and her name is Onyx, and she's black. She's a female black cat. And I'm pretty sure she has daddy issues. That's because I have daddy issues. I am a product of father abandonment. Yes. Yes. I looked at her and I was like, I know what you're doing. I'm gonna explain. Every time I bring a guy, okay, before I say that story, my therapist was like, that's what she has. She has daddy issues, and that adds to your guy's bond. Don't worry, okay? And I was like, And then she meowed right when he said that, so I think she agrees. And look at this story. So every guy I bring over, she was just like, I smell men. And then she goes and she rubs herself on them and she climbs them up, I'm like, Onyx, what are you doing? And not that I brought that many guys over, but she has done that to all 15 of them so far. So I don't know. I think it's an issue. And oh shit. And also, sorry guys. And also, so we started talking about the cats to my psychologist. And he was like, no, don't worry about it. You've been doing that too, rubbing on guys, and you're fine. I'm finding where I am. Okay, the very first guy she met was Alex. Alex, my ex. Alex, my ex rhymes. Okay, I'm gonna say. Alex, my ex psychopathic. Nice! It fits him. Okay, so Onyx loved Alex. Oh my gosh, she loved him. And then they say you should trust your animal's instincts, right? If your dog or your cat doesn't like someone, are you gonna fuck with that person? Fuck no. They're like, you're gonna fuck with my face. Yeah. So I trust my cats, even though they are a little crazy. She loved Alex, and I was like, I looked at them and I was like, oh, look at that. He has to be a nice guy. Look at that. Even though he was going through my phone and telling me that my cleavage on Instagram was to catch guys' attentions and that every male friend of mine wants to fuck me. And 25 minutes ago, you know, I was like, fuck all those red flags. Alex great, look at Onyx, she loves him. You know, he's not a narcissist, controlling fucker who's going to suck my soul with a straw and leave me 12 pounds skinnier, on the verge of going homeless, emotionally destroyed, and financially drained. Of course not. Onyx loves him. He has to be a good person. Turns out, he was a psychopathically narcissistic fucker who almost took my soul to hell. Yes. Thanks, Onyx. Little slut. I'm pretty sure if Onyx was a girl, she would have chlamydia and try to steal my boyfriend. Yes, and then guys, we're talking about cats, and they are seen as this mystical being, sometimes this mystical animal. Would you agree? Yeah, right? So I'm going to tell you guys my opinion about all this mystical bullshit. Let me just find. Yeah, so there is nothing that stresses me out more than the spiritual youngie of our times. You know what I'm talking about? Do you know them? Yeah, it's fucked up. So, you wake up 6 a.m. in the morning, it's a bad day, you know? So you just like, take a hit of the joint. You're staring at the ceiling, in your bed, no way to live, no will to live, you're just like, take me. God, take me, it's another day, I can't do it, you know? And then you grab your phone, of course, and then you open, it's there, a message, like a message from above. Spiritual gangster. Keep on grinding. Manifested. Let go. And you're like, oh my God. My life just changed right now. I'm ready. You get up and you start your day. I mean, it doesn't work like that, right? And then also like rub 3 drops of lavender on your hand, plus 2 of sage, and then rub it in your forehead and your third eye to relax and find today's purpose. Are you serious? Like, is the 3 drops of lavender gonna knock the shit out of my son and make him sleep for 12 hours? Because that's the only way I'm gonna relax. And also, do I need sage to find life's purpose? Sage, do I need you? Okay, maybe I need sage, but not the sage, you know what I mean? Like, I know life's purpose. It's very simple. We're here to have fun, get our hearts broken, smoke weed, the good weed though, okay? Thanks plug, whatever you are, thank you. And also, love God above all, love your neighbor like yourself, and what else? Am I forgetting anything? Become better people, right? I mean, do you really want to do something good for the world with your spiritual bullshit? Drink more water, eat less meat, drive your car less, stop shopping so fucking much. I know you're Americans, I know you guys like it, but stop it. It's killing the planet. Plant a tree instead. Work out, go to therapy, you know, that's the stuff you should do. But I can't deny it's an attractive trend. I mean, look at how I dress. I like it, but it's just because I smoke weed, I promise, okay? I am not gonna go to the waterfall, wash my crystals to energize them, fuck that shit. I am not gonna put a cotton ball in my belly button to block the bad spirits. No, I don't believe in that, okay? But it's attractive, the trend is attractive. Like I gave this guy, I was seeing a plant, and then I went into his room a week later, and the plant was like so beautiful. The plant was so happy, and I was like, look at him, he has to be a good guy. The plant is so happy around him. Did I forget it's spring? Everything is blooming, you know? Duh, you know? Also, I hate those posts, like, the bitch drinks up as if it's her last day on earth, okay? And then she wakes up the next day and then she posts a picture of her hand full of bracelets, holding a cup of tea, like, oh, some days you wake up feeling down and thoughtful. Take those days to connect with yourself and find whatever you're missing. I'm like, bitch, you hangover. Simple that to you and shut the fuck up, okay? Yeah, also, this one pisses me off, like, she posts a picture of her ass in the mirror, okay? The window is coming through. No problem with ass pictures. I like them. But the caption gets me. So the sun is coming through the window. She's like, don't let anybody diminish your light. Just keep on shining. And I'm like, I thought the asshole was the only place sunlight wouldn't touch. But there you are with the thing. But okay, let me explain to you how much it has rubbed on me, okay? And then I'm gonna end with this. The other day I woke up at 4 a.m. I couldn't sleep anymore. I was so tired. I was so anxious. So I took a hit of my Jew as if I hate my lungs and I'm kissing them goodbye. Like this, just like. Get up, eat nothing, drink 2 liters of coffee, because I don't speak ounces, I'm sorry. And then go to work all day, finish work, go to a bar, meet my friend. The bar, I knew that ex could show up at any moment. Dance, drink, smoke, do everything. Then at some point I'm like, come here, my friend. Do you feel the vibes in this place? The vibes are off. I mean, are you feeling like a little, I'm feeling a little down, my head hurts. It's a sign from the universe that I should go home. By the way, where's my drink? Give me my drink. And then, I was telling her that bullshit. She didn't like it at all. And I forgot how to end my set. Guys, thank you so much for being here. That's it. Thank you.
Wow. Excellent set, by the way. That was our first time. Can you believe that? That's amazing. Can we get another round of applause? All right, so before I introduce the next comedian, I want to ask you guys a favor, small favor. Out of respect for the comedians, keep it down in the back, They're trying their hardest out here, especially when they're new. All right, so our next comedian, hold on. Out of respect for the comedians, let me pull my phone. Sage Delonge. She's our social media manager, so give her like the biggest round of applause, okay?
Hi guys. Oh my gosh. I'm not gonna lie to you. I have my phone out today. I will be reading off my phone. I've just been swamped. I'm an English major, if that explains that. So, that was a joke. I don't have it. I'm just lazy. Yeah. So, it's funny. B and I both have our stuff on our phones, or we're looking at stuff, and you'd think the 2 women would be the ones to remember, but here we are. So, I'm a girl. Don't know if you guys can tell. Not many in the comedy club, big surprise. And I'm on Tinder. I don't know, anybody else in here on Tinder? That guy loves Tinder. Wow. Yeah, I really like Tinder. I actually turned it off recently, but I have some stories from Tinder. Thought I'd bring them out here for you guys. I've talked about this before, but there's a lot of people on Tinder. I would say, guys, if you're looking to fill a rec basketball team, look no further than Tinder at Virginia Tech. You can find any guy on there. My friends and I will look at Tinder, we'll sit round table style, and we're like, okay, pros and cons. Pros, similar music taste to Sage. He's 6'2". Cons, that's a dead deer in his profile. That's a little scary. He also messaged her immediately and said, come to my apartment. I feel like the faster you're trying to get me to your apartment, the less time on earth I have. I think I'm gonna end up like that deer. But sorry guys. Yeah, there's also this fun feature on Tinder where you can verify your photo. Tinder verification. But it's never like the guys you want to verify that verify, right? It's like a 5'7" guy named Todd who's like VT Geology 24 in his bio, and you're like, all right, Todd. I mean, I wasn't shocked that you were, I didn't think you were catfishing me, but that's okay. Yeah, I don't know. The catfishers though are kind of uncreative. It's like one photo of a male model. It's like you just threw some photos up there, wrote you're a Taurus. You get at least a couple matches. Everybody knows you're a catfish. We also have a lot of guys put their college right in their bio, and obviously at VT, like we have a lot of VT. We also get Radford every once in a while. And I don't really know why they're putting Radford in their bio. I think it'd be like a lot quicker to just write, I have syphilis. I think it would get straight to the point. But I do feel bad because I feel like they probably don't know how to spell syphilis. So we also have guys that post with their ex-girlfriend, but they'll like scribble out her face and they'll be like, this could be you. While you're editing the photo, might as well put a red flag over your face. And be quick. We also have group photos, right? Group photos, they're great. I kind of like it though. A lot of people don't like group photos because you can't tell which guy it is, but I think it's kind of like, where's Waldo? And to find him, I just pick the one I find the least attractive. So, works every time. We also have a lot of guys that say like, don't play games with me. Like, I'm in this to find a girlfriend. I'm in here for the long run. Tinder is a game. I don't know who is using Tinder to find a girlfriend. I use Tinder because I like compliments and judging men purely based off looks. If you're on a dating website to find a wife and kids, might I suggest Grindr? Many of those men have wife and kids, so I think you'd have more luck. We also have like kind of the guys that peaked in high school, like just so many. It's like Jacob, 25, and it's like his photos from his high school lacrosse team. You're just like, do you not have anything more recent? That's my problem. We also have cadets, a lot of cadaddies on Tinder. But I would say maybe stop posting in your uniform. They scare me. Stop posting with guns. That's also scary. And girls, if you're swiping on cadets and then you get confused why after you sleep with them they disappear, that's what the camo's for. I don't know why you're shocked. I don't know, yeah. We have the athletes are on there too. I think Virginia Tech needs to start watching what they let the athletes have because it's like every other guy. There are so many athletes on Tinder. And I normally swipe on the athletes because I just kind of want to see what's going on up there. Normally it's nothing. There's not much. It's kind of, but yeah, we also have a lot of frat boys, obviously, a lot of fraternity brothers. I will probably swipe right on you if you're in a fraternity, unless your vibes are atrocious. But if you're in a fraternity, your vibes are probably atrocious. So, not all of that. Yeah, I have this one frat that I'll swipe right on pretty much every time. And I've had a few run-ins with them. Normally it'll go like this. I'll go to a frat, I'll be like, hey, and they're like, hey, where are you from? I'm like, oh, I'm from Nova. And they're like, oh, like, there's literally no one from, that's so cool. I'm from Nova too. I'm like, oh, that's cool. That's really exotic of you. We also have like, what's your major? I'm like, oh, I'm an English major. Cool. So you like read books and is that what you guys do? I'm like, yeah, that's like some of it, I guess. What are you? Oh, I'm a business major. I'll say like, that sounds so difficult. And they're like, yeah, no, it's really hard. Yeah, I don't know, BIT's been kicking my ass recently, so, yeah, like, for sure. What year are you? Yeah, like, I'm a 6th year. I've been held back a couple times, but, you know, the fraternity needs me, right? I'm holding it together. I'm holding down the fort over here. What are you? I'm a freshman. And then, you know, their eyes light up. They get excited. And the last question that I always get asked is, what sorority are you in? And I'm not in a sorority. I kind of feel like comedy club's my sorority. But we don't talk shit about each other, so we don't have a sisterhood aspect. But yeah, no, I'll say, oh, I'm not in a sorority, sorry. And they'll look at me and they'll go, oh, cool, and then walk away. And honestly, I don't feel bad because we're in the South. I know everybody's really into the brother-sister stuff down here. So that's all. I'm Sage. Thank you guys.
Can we get another round of applause for Sage DeLonge? All right. Amazing. Man. So we've had like cadaddies. We've had cadaddies twice. Man, somebody's so, I don't know. I'm getting really hot and bothered out here. All right, so essentially, next up, guy who hasn't performed in a while, so give him a big round of applause, give him lots of love, Derek Budd, all right? Did we pay the crowd?
Hey, what's going on, guys? So as Azana has so kindly mentioned, my name is Derek Budd. People call me Derek Budd Comedy, and by people I mean myself, and by comedy I mean narcissism. But yeah, I haven't been out here for quite some time. It's been 2 years since I've last been out here on stage, and yeah. But now that we're all well acquainted, shall we address the elephant in the room? So, the more astute amongst you may have noticed there is a balloon. And in addition to this, you may be asking yourself, why is there a balloon? To which I respond to you, very well done. Very well done indeed. You are very observant and curious. These are virtues. Anyway, yeah, so I haven't been out here in many years, and it's good to be back out here on the comedy scene. We were kind of in a comedy deficit there for a while. We were in some dark times without stand-up. And so I took it upon myself, in the meantime, to kind of fill that deficit by distributing comedy wherever I saw fit. I'm talking laundromats, grocery stores, funeral homes, wherever. Wherever you should be laughing, I was there. And I became a sort of comedic vigilante, if you will. I utilized a sort of guerrilla warfare tactic of comedy, guerrilla comedy, if you will. Not to be confused with gorilla comedy, which mainly involves roasting Tarzan and pounding on your chest. I do hope you enjoy mediocre puns. They are my speciality. But yeah, man. Yeah, the pandemic sucked. Pandemic is objectively bad. But what's worse? Having allergies during a pandemic. Each cough becomes a little bit more suspicious, don't you think? And so, check it out. I'm allergic to dust, cats, and pollen, and it's not a good trio when an outdoor cat can incapacitate you altogether. But yeah, no, that's bad enough, but what's worse even still is having allergies while smoking weed in a pandemic. Yeah. So, I'd be at Kroger or someplace in public, hawking up a lung, people looking at me like, don't breathe in my general direction. I'm thinking, you got me all wrong, I just pulled a jeep underneath a dogwood tree. We're lucky I'm breathing. That fucking cat runs by. I'm done for, man. I'm dead. Yeah, man. Tough times out there. But you know what? I didn't stop smoking weed one bit. Because I liked it. Yeah. But I did notice something, that weed has a direct antithesis, and its name is Adderall. I noticed that Adderall is the exact opposite of marijuana by the fact that while weed makes you lazy, hungry, unproductive, Adderall makes you more productive, active, with a smaller appetite. So check it out, let me explain. Recently, I've been diagnosed with what doctors call idiot squirrel brain syndrome, or ADHD for short. I don't know, actually. My doctor might have said dyslexia, but I couldn't really pay attention. But my doctor, in order to reconcile for this ADHDizzle, She? Female doctor? Let's fucking go, am I right? Let's go. Oh my god, holy shit. I bet you all thought it was a man. When I said doctor, you fucking bigots. Holy shit. Nah, I'm just fucking with you. It's a real doctor, he's a guy. But this doctor, in order to reconcile for this symptom, he suggested that I microdose on methamphetamine, so he prescribed me Adderall. And in doing so, I was exposed to the wonderful world of the duplicity between Adderall and weed. And I noticed the things that I've said before, where they have these direct opposites between them. And I like them both for different reasons, right? Obviously, they're opposites. And while weed is good for things like creativity, going to bed, other things in bed. Adderall is more like watered down cocaine. That's why I call it Diet Coke. And what's weird is, I do like taking Adderall, but I don't like doing real coke. I'm more of a Pepsi guy myself. I fucking hate that joke, man. I can't even be loud to that joke. That was good people shit. That joke is from an archive of jokes that always work, never should, you know? Such low-hanging fruit. I feel bad just saying it to you guys. Apologies. But yeah, I'm attracted to these polar opposites, Adderall and marijuana. And I like them so much that sometimes I would take them at the same time to achieve kind of a homeostasis, if you will. And so check it out. Adderall brings you up here, weed's got you down here. Taken together, we're right in the equilibrium spot, baby. I call this chemically sober. And I've become so fond of the idea of combining opposites to achieve neutrality that I've applied it to a lot of other aspects in my life. So during the height of quarantine, I would roll out of bed, have nothing better to do than rip a bong, pop an addy. Sometimes I'd even take a probiotic and an antibiotic along with one laxative and one stool hardener just to feel something. Yeah. Holy shit, is there a frat in here? Yeah, but with all that I've told you tonight, you might be thinking to yourself, this young gentleman has quite the substance abuse problem. To which I would respond, fair. But in my opinion, I'm really only addicted to one thing. And that's helium.
But I can stop whenever I want.
All right, thank you guys.
I'm like nowhere near that alpha. Like what the fuck? Jeez, I feel more beta after he did that now. Oh man. Okay. Hold on. Oh. Looks like my Adderall is actually wearing off right now. Great. Love ADHD. All right. So next up, we have another performer, which because my Adderall is wearing off, let me just check real quick. It's me. It's you. That's right. Cat Race. Give her a big round of applause.
This is my first time too, so please be gentle. If Derek's friends want to leave, we know you're like 90% of the people, so I won't mind. I'm short-sighted, so I don't really see what's going on. But I should start my bit. My name is Kat, and I just moved here from Brazil with my gorgeous husband who's getting his PhD. And I know you might be thinking, Brazilian, something's missing. Where is it? Where is it? This is all I got, okay? But people usually think Brazilian women, they're sexy, they're curvy. I'm sorry. Something else that I fail at is getting a tan. I go from glass of milk to overcooked shrimp, nothing in the middle, okay? Even people back home don't think I'm local. The guys at the beach selling food, selling drinks, they switch to English, they try to overprice shit. My husband says it's because I'm the same color as the sand. And apparently, when I put on sunscreen, I sparkle like the Twilight vampires. But now I've moved here, yeah, and I always tell people I'm from Rio. You know, the movie with the birds. You know, that was the reference the folks at the comedy club remember, probably because they're all children. But I'm 27. This wasn't even supposed to go in this bit, but the first day I walked in, they were like, oh, there's a super old guy who's 25. Fuck. But I come from Rio, and I always try to reference the 2016 Olympics. You remember that? Yeah. It's the one when Ryan Lochte, the swimmer, told everybody that he'd been mugged. You remember that? He told his mom, she told a reporter, the whole world was talking about how Rio is a dangerous place. You remember that? And then turns out he just had a wild night with his buddies and vandalized a trash can. That was so good, I shouldn't have bombed it. Let's go again. Turns out he just had a wild night with his buddies and vandalized the gas station bathroom. So fuck you, Ryan Lochte. And I like that he's such a dick that Americans are probably just like, yeah, fuck you, Ryan Lochte. But no, people always think that Rio is a dangerous city. I myself have been asked by an Uber driver right after he said, I'm not racist, but he was like, are you afraid of going out on the street? I get where he's coming from. The first contact many people have with Rio are the movies City of God or Elite Troop, which are very violent. And I was afraid of getting mugged, but I'm afraid here too. I'm afraid some guy's gonna put me in the back of his van, make me live in his basement forever, okay? Because I've seen Room and The Unbreakable Kimmy Schmidt. And if you're making comedy about this, I'm guessing it's pretty common. No, but it's a good time to be a Brazilian in the US. We just got the first Brazilian artist on top of Spotify Global. What? Anita, we enrolled there. It gained traction on TikTok, so considering you're all like 21, you've probably seen it. I don't know, I don't have a TikTok. But it got traction because she has a dance move where she bends over and then she puts her ass closer to the floor, like wiggling it. I'm not gonna try to reproduce it because we've established I don't have an ass. But also because you're here to watch comedy, not horror. So, no, it's amazing. As soon as the song came to number 5, all Brazilians were streaming it 20 times a day. That's us, okay? The difference between Brazil and the US is that you guys are a nation and we are a family. That means even though we're constantly fighting and can't agree on much, if you go after one of us, you'll go after all of us, okay? I thought I would remember everything, but not. This is worse than getting cramped during sex. Wait. You guys don't have to go through this because you're 21. I get it, okay? No, the truth is, Brazilians, we act as a family, and if you mess with one of us, you mess with all of us, okay? We will go after you. We are the perfect combination of Latino passion and one of the lowest productivity rates in the world. We are the reason Mark Zuckerberg had to call off comments on his Facebook photos, okay? The kid from Everybody Hates Chris can't post shit, okay? He can't, poor thing. You know, every once in a while, a gringo tries to get after us, and we just go after him like crazy. So tonight, you have learned a lesson. Yeah, if you're going after Brazil, do it in person, because Ryan Lochte has never been arrested, but if you do it online, we will hunt you down. Thank you, Mo Parlor, that was all.
Once again, that was her first time. What an amazing performance by her. Can we get another round of applause for Kat? Yeah, thank you. Awesome. All right, I also want to shout out to Milk Parlor for once again, they like provide us this venue. They're pretty awesome. So if you're thirsty and you don't think we're very funny, you can solve 2 problems at once. Get drunk and we'll be funnier. All right. So next up, we have Ayush Patodia. And before he comes up, I want to ask everyone in the back to quiet down. Oh yeah, give me another applause. That's all right. There we go. All right. No, I'm just playing. How we doing? Come on, there are like 100 of you in here. How we doing? That's what I like to hear. That's what I like to hear. Recently, I had this thought. Let's quiet down on the chit chat, please. Not to be like that, teacher. I'm just kidding. Recently, I had this thought. Who starts
a sperm bank? Like, whose business idea is it to be like, this is what I want to get into. This is the career I want to pursue. More importantly, what do we call them? Suggestions. What do we call people that start sperm banks? Perverts, donors, yeah. I think businessmen. Yeah. Entrepreneurs. I grew up in Blacksburg. My family runs a local inn. It's called the Red Carpet Inn. It's old and shitty, but we treat you well, like a sugar daddy. So, if you need a place to stay, hit us up. Growing up in a motel with Asian parents, it's like the sweet life of Zach and Cody, but like with tiger parents, Like no fun shenanigans. I just come home every day and do math problems. Yeah, every day, actually this is a true story. Every day in first grade, I'd come home and then my mom would say, copy this newspaper article. And then I would do that for hours as a 6-year-old. Yeah, you white people wouldn't understand. Shout out to my man Derek. Yeah, I love it. He brought the sausage fest with him, dude. So many proud brothers. Oh, and brothers, your man has a dumpy. I was looking at it from size 8. I was like, God damn, that is a full half circle. Jesus. Yes. Listen, man, we could take it outside afterwards. I don't want to hear it. What was I gonna say? I was gonna say something else about Derek. It's okay. Love that guy. He has a cool necklace. So I used to work at this local bagel shop. It's called Hello Bagel. Do you guys know of it? Yeah. I worked there for like 2 years. And one time, there was this very memorable customer there. His name was JT. He's like a 45-year-old white guy that was dressed like he was stuck in the 90s. And he was trying to use like modern slang while ordering his bagel. He was like, let me get a poppy bagel, a poppy seed bagel with herb cream cheese. All facts, no printer. Shout out to my man Black Santa. Extra cream cheese. And I was like, dog, what does Black Santa have to do with this? Also, would you like your bagel toasted? Yeah. Recently, I went to a choir concert in a church, and they had a TV in the church. And I was like, why do they have a TV in the church? Is Jesus watching the Real Housewives of Atlanta? Like, just up in heaven? And my girlfriend, she was like, you can't say that. That's insensitive to the deaf people. And I'm like, they're not going to hear me say it anytime soon. like it's fine. Sign language is so cool. I know one thing in sign language. Let me show you guys real quick. For those of you who didn't see, that was the blood gang sign. Yeah, there are no Crips or Bloods in Blacksburg. This is like, when the college students aren't here, Blacksburg is filled with like 60-year-old hippies. It's kind of weird. Let me pull out my joke ideas. I don't usually do this, but I'm an engineering student going through some shit right now. So I haven't had time to prepare for this yet. Oh, yeah, this one's really good. Okay, so I'm scared of being forgotten when I die. That's not the joke, like that's just facts. And so I did some pondering. I was like, how can I be remembered when I'm gone, when I'm deceased? And then I looked at, people that are remembered after they die. Martin Luther King Jr., Gandhi. What do they have in common? Abraham Lincoln, what do they all have in common? They were murdered. Exactly. Yeah. So that's the real goal. You just need to be murdered, and then people will remember you. Yeah. I work at Starbucks now. How many of you guys like Starbucks? Those are my coworkers. Like 4/5 of them are white girls, so it fits the theme. But working at Starbucks, it's made me realize a couple of things that white people, you will go through anything to get your coffee. One time it was a full-on snowstorm. It was so much snow outside. It was like this much snow. Like that's a lot of snow, dude. It's too much snow sometimes. And people were rolling through, getting their macchiatos and their mochas and their whatever. And I realized there's a trend while working at Starbucks. It's that rednecks love white mocha. And that's got me wondering, that's got me pondering. There has to be like a correlation between white mocha and white supremacy, right? Like 2 pumps of white mocha, you know, they'll call me a slur. 6 pumps of white mocha, they'll like kick my shins as I walk by and call me a monkey. Listen, I know that it's a common thing to call brown people a monkey, but my grandpa low-key looked like one though. like my grandpa, he's really old, he's got a droopy face, dangly ears. Like, he's adorable though, he's adorable. And 10 pumps of white mocha, they'll shoot up my temple. Like my temple and my temple. Sorry, that's a little confusing. Did someone say Jesus? Not Jesus. Hinduism. Come on, dog. Hinduism's why. Did you know in Hinduism there are 220 million gods? I can't even think of 220 million things. Is there a god for like taking a dump? like is there a god for when you stub your toe on a table? You're just like, I pray to you to never let this happen to me again. That's too many. Where was I? Oh, yes. So around here, do you guys like Walmart? Yeah? Yeah, it's not special. like, no one's like, let's go to Walmart and hang out later, you know? But growing up, Walmart was the place to go if I wanted to get hate crimed. A dozen years ago. Sorry, a dozen. Yeah, that's a weird way to say it. A dozen years ago, me and my dad went to Walmart and someone tried to run us over. And my dad hasn't been to Walmart since. He was like, no, fuck that shit. And now he doesn't go there. Anyways, I was at Walmart one time, and I was around 13, 14 years old. And are there any brown guys in here? Like Dizzy, Arabic? Shit, I'm outnumbered, dog. I'm outnumbered. I didn't know I came to a Klan meeting. Shout out to you, sir. For those white people, aka all of you who don't know, when you're a brown guy and you're 13, 14 years old, right now, like the prime spot for puberty, you have this horrendous mustache. And you look like the sex offender and the sex offendee all at the same time. like it's just pubes on your face and then baby faces, you know? And I went like this to Walmart, and these two MAGA men come up to me. And the picture in your brain is 100% accurate. And they go back to your country, you pencil-stashed monkey. I was like, I'm born in Pennsylvania, dog. I don't know about you. And then they high-fived and were like, let's go get white mochas. Yeah. Alright, let me try and find a couple of bangers in my notes app, and then we'll get out of here. I was walked in on when I was using the bathroom by a religious figure once. Yeah, I was like 9 years old, and in the Hinduism, I was gonna say Hindu church, but that's not it. In Hinduism, the like equivalent to a priest is called a swami, or in like American, a guru. But a swami, and so I was at my cousin's house, and they invited the swami over for no particular reason. I think my uncle was cheating on my aunt, but no particular reason. And in Hinduism, I guess women aren't allowed to like be seen by the swami in their own home. So my aunt was like a fucking ninja, just like ducking, diving over shit. And me being the 7-year-old I was like, I'm gonna pee now. And so I went to the bathroom, and then I was like, I don't need to lock the door. It's fine. It's my family, and this weird old guy. But when have weird old men done anything to children? And so I was going to the bathroom, and he walks in. And I think that was the first time a weird old man didn't do anything to a child, because he just walked away. Okay, I'll end on, let me see. Yeah, I'll just keep going for such a long time. Okay, I'll end on this one. You guys know Shia LaBeouf, right? Yeah, not do you guys hate Transformers, dog? Shia LaBeouf, Transformers, the movie Holes. None of us watched it because we all had to read the book, or we watched it because we didn't read the book. And Shia LaBeouf, just do it, guy, just do it. And that became Nike's slogan, or he did it for Nike, I don't really know. Just do it. In 2020, an artist named FJK, I think that was her, FJK Biggs, accused him of sexual assault. I guess he just did do it, yeah. All right, thank you guys. My name is Ayush Patodia. Before I get off the stage, Ayush Patodia, yeah. Where's that from? India, if you're wondering. Yeah. So I'm the treasurer of the club. Figured they make the Indian guy the treasurer, yeah. If you would like to donate to us, please do. We want money, and we don't have a lot. And we've got a professional comedian performing for you guys, and we need money to pay him. So, we have the money, don't worry. It's not like he's finding out right now that we don't have money to pay him. But we got the money to pay him, but we would like more, because capitalism. So, I'll give you can come up to me, and the comedy money account is just my personal bank account. Because we're real professional, or just give me cash. We can do a communion style. I'll get a basket and just like walk around. Anyways, thank you guys. My name is Ayush Patodia.
Ayush, I don't appreciate you coming out for my mustache like that. It gets worse the more you look at me. Anyways, we have a guy coming in all the way from Dublin, Virginia. His name is Nick Costas. Give him a big round of applause.
How about a hand for Azana? Give him a hand for being the host of this cavalcade. I apologize for my age. I'm in my late 40s. I'm 53. Anyways, my name's Nick Costas, and it's a Greek name. Actually, I'm half French and half Greek. Just makes me a freak. Thank you. I have no money. Thanks to you. Well, I did have money before I walked in here, but I parked next to somebody, and they had a bumper sticker on his car, and it hit me, I need the money. So I punched him in the face and gave him $5. Anyways, I did go to college. I took out a lot of student loans, and I figured because I didn't graduate, I don't have to pay the loans back. So, I recently got a loan with no interest, which is good because I have no interest in paying it back. I'm on appetite suppressants right now. Not that I want to lose weight. I just can't afford food. That's why I'm here. I walked to a 24-hour restaurant, and they had an all-you-can-eat special. I live there now. I'm a carnivore, but I only eat vegetarians. I'm having a little bit of a problem getting my 5 servings of fruits and vegetables every day, so I'm substituting them with cake and candy. And I find that I'm having no problem sticking to my diet. You know it takes more calories to consume to digest a piece of celery than the amount of calories a piece of celery actually contains? So that means if you just start eating celery, you'd eventually disappear. I think I'm going bald, not for hereditary reasons, but because of friction. And if you watch, it will start coming out. But that's okay, I'm using new shampoo with extra body. Last week I gained 10 pounds. Now I'm having a bad body day. Combined by bad hair day, that's 2 bad days in 24 hours. Is that even possible? I don't know. Tonight, I actually feel worse than I look. So just don't touch me. Call my doctor. He told me I need more fiber in my diet. So I'm eating my old clothes. Call my psychiatrist on the phone. I told him I'm getting down on myself. He said, don't do that, you're gonna hurt your back. You can probably tell I was beaten up a lot as a kid. I was also beaten up, and at the time, it felt good, and it didn't seem wrong, you know? But as I got older, like in my 30s, I'm like, that wasn't really a good thing. You know, I got that to wrestle with. I was a pretty mellow kid. I remember one day I accidentally killed an ant, and I felt real bad about it, but everybody in the family hated her anyway, so I got over it. Never had a pony as a kid. If I did, there'd be no place to keep it because nobody in my family knew to mean the word stable. That's why I'm here today, in the condition I'm in. My sandbox is a horseshoe pit. Still get headaches from that. Didn't have a lot of toys, although I did have a bipolar bear. And that was pretty fun. Sometimes. Sometimes it wasn't. Sometimes it was really, really fun. Sometimes I didn't want to see it. Well, my parents tried. I remember they brought me to an amusement park. Got to ride the emotional roller coaster and a merry-go-round. They wanted me to go on the suicide of the parish where I'm like, I don't know. Maybe in my late 30s, I started sorting some of this stuff out. Maybe I'll come back. I remember they were too cheap to buy me cotton candy, so they got me polyester candy. It tasted the same, but it gave me cramps. So. And then there's the last ride of the amusement park. Everybody piles in the car and they drive home. It usually took me a day or 2 to find my way back, but I always managed. My family used to go on vacations. They never took me with them. They used to go. Even though I haven't traveled a lot, I still consider myself cultured. I was raised in a petri dish. I was actually raised by my mother, moved around a lot, lived in a lot of apartments, lived in an edifice complex. You know, it was right after I killed my dad. I don't even know it was him, you know. I live in a new place now. It's in a nice building. It's an inferiority complex. I feel very safe there because we have insecurity guards. My apartment's always messy, but I've always been messy. I had a messy womb, especially the 3rd trimester. The umbilical cord was over there, the placenta was over there. There was amniotic fluid everywhere. I could not keep the place clean. My mother was very overprotective. From what I understand, as I was coming out, being born, she looked down and she said, "Where do you think you're going? Get back in there." And luckily, I had a prenatal agreement, which stated after 9 months, I could just leave. So, pardon my French, I shot that bitch. I was malnourished as a child because my mother wore nipple clamps. So I was breastfed by my father. And to this day, I don't mind a little bit of hair in my food, okay? And nails and nails, right? I prefer real breasts versus fake breasts, so I can tell you I had a bad experience with fake breasts. I chipped my tooth. Granted, it was a mannequin, but still. Yeah, they weren't real. Hey, thanks a lot. Enjoy the rest of the show.
All right. I didn't feel like a beta male before. All right, so next up we get another comedian. Oh, this is really, oh my God, oh, hold on. Sorry. 5'7" is hard. Okay, next up we have Doc, Robert Doc Barnum, all right? Give him a big round of applause, okay?
Hey, put your hands together for Arizona, would you please? Give him a nice round of applause! And while you're at it, everybody that you've seen so far, all the men and women that have been on stage so far, would you? Nice to see you all here this evening. My name is Doc. Would you agree with me that political correctness is kind of the theme of the day you see in the news? Yes, no? Yeah. I've noticed that a lot of the things that it seems like it's trying to improve, it's actually made us more sensitive to in a way that I think is the opposite of what it intends. For example, I think that in terms of relationship, romantic relationship, dating and things like that, I've seen a lot of tension build between the sexes, unfortunately. For example, recently I was in a club, and at the club, it was last call. And so I stopped and I talked to this woman and I said, well, hey, what do you say you and I get out of here? Just go back to my place. She looks at me and just snaps. Just kind of freaks out and goes, I wouldn't sleep with you if you're like the last man on earth. And I was thinking, no kidding, babe. If I was the last man on earth, I could be a little bit pickier. Shit, honey, you wouldn't live long enough to make it to the front of the line. You fucking kidding me? 3.5 billion women on earth? You'd have to peer through the overly moved coifs of at least 30 NFL cheerleading squads just to see the back of Beyonce's head. But I do think I actually, don't get me wrong, I love women, I love being in a romantic relationship. I've had my fair share of romantic relationships. I've also made my own mistakes. For example, have you ever done this in a relationship where you are very much in love, you think perhaps you are the more sexually progressive of the two of you, and you find out that your partner's the one who's more of a freak? For example, my last girlfriend rather, she said to me, you know, you're on the road all the time, and I really love making love to you. I can't get enough of making love to you. And so when you're gone, I miss you, and I don't know what to do. And I had an idea. I saw this thing online. It's called Make a Mold of Your Penis. Now, I thought, okay, I'm going to be really open-minded. I'll give this a thought. I won't immediately reject it. But you know, this is one of those things, if you think it through, it's one thing when the relationship ends and there's the breakup and you're standing on the other side of the locked apartment door, knocking on it, going, yeah, can I get my sweatshirt back? As opposed to, can I get my dick back? And if that isn't, you know, if that's not bad enough, it's not much longer where she starts dating somebody else and has that conversation with her next boyfriend that every guy has with their next girlfriend, which is, so how big was he? Well, here, let me show you. Anyway, I'll share one more thing with you all before I go, and that is that I am kind of proud to say, and some of you may know this, some of you may not know this, that recently I actually finally got around to naming my penis. I don't know if that deserves quite an applause break, but I'll take it anyway. I did. My whole life I thought, you know, because ladies, you know, men, that's sort of a ritual. You're supposed to name your penis, you know, and some of us do that, some of us don't. Me personally, I was worried if I gave myself a name, like I might name my penis, that it might be something that I wouldn't like later on, and then I would feel like I gotta change my name. So I was going through this whole list of names, like, oh, am I gonna name it heroin? I'll name it Timex, takes a licking, keeps on ticking. Name it Gatorade, is it in you? Happiness, you know? And I finally decided on a name for my penis. You guys wanna know what I named my penis? Yeah! I named my penis The Truth. You know why? 'Cause you can't handle the truth! Sometimes the truth hurts. Sometimes the truth is hard to swallow. But you gotta learn to love the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God, because it is the truth that'll set you free. Thanks, everybody. Even more prayer. Izana right there, Izana McCullough there, McKenna.
I gotta figure this out. Hold on. How did he do that? All right, beta male it is. Okay. Next up, we have Nico. Okay, Nico Bruno, everyone's favorite Italian. Give him a big round of applause. Come on, here, let's hear it. There you go.
It's just my height. My armpits hurt. You wanna know why? You guys ever switch deodorants, and then your lymph nodes come out, and you get an allergic reaction, and you're in serious pain? Yeah. So, anyways, I ran out of deodorant, and I'm too poor and lazy to go to the store to buy new deodorant or food, so I just use my backup deodorant, which is just like Axe body spray. And that fucked me, and now I'm in severe pain. But you know, I think about it, I'm like, deodorant, food, do I really want to spend money on that? Like, I need to spend money on things that matter, like weed, and rolling papers, and a new bowl, and weed. But anyways, the point I'm trying to say is that, I don't know, I always feel like I'm wasting money when I buy groceries. It's good to just starve yourself, it's a nice time. But has anyone been having bad dreams or weird dreams? I've been having a lot of weird dreams. Like last night, alright, I had a cycle of dreams that made absolutely no fucking sense. Alright, so first dream, I'm in my kitchen cooking a dish, you know, Italian dish, whatever, the fuck, it's carbonara. And I feel like I do right now, okay? All my dreams are like lucid, I just feel real, but I'm not fully aware of what's going on. And I think it's the melatonin I've been taking. So I make some dinner, I watch Shameless, I live a full life, like 4 or 5 hours are going on in the stream. And I go upstairs and I get ready for bed, brush my teeth, get in bed. And sometimes I do this thing before bed. It's called masturbating. And it's where you take your hand and you start like going like this, you go start to, alright, anyways. So the point is, I pull out my laptop, and that should have been the first tell. There's always tells in a dream that you're not actually awake or in real life. I never use my laptop, I use my phone, like a real man, Safari private mode. Is everyone else looking? Yeah. Anyway, so I go on Pornhub, like the common man does, and I'm looking at all these videos. This is a dream, by the way. I'm in Pornhub on my laptop, I'm looking at these videos. It takes me like 30, 40 minutes to find a video that I like. And then I have all these tabs open, and I find this video and I'm watching it. And when you are a guy, at least from my experience, I'll play the video and watch about 2 seconds and then start scrolling through the recommended so I can find a better video. So I started doing that. And I find this video, and my heart starts pounding. Like, my heart's gonna come out of my chest. I see my ex-girlfriend on the thumbnail. And I'm like, oh fuck, what the fuck is this? And I start having an anxiety attack. I click on the video and I find her old channel with 100 plus videos. I'm like, Jesus Christ, my ex is a porn star now? I'm freaking out. I start crying, I'm hyperventilating, and I'm like, fuck, that really killed my mood. So then I rolled up a joint and then started watching one of the videos. And it was lovely. Anyways, next screen, I'm fucking transported. I'm in this small studio apartment, right? And it's like, there's music playing, there's a shit ton of people, and we're all drinking coffee. We're all drinking espresso. I think it was like that cafe disco bit from The Office. You guys remember that? When Michael was like, let's go down to the small little office, have a party. So I'm on my third shot of espresso, and we're vibing to this Latino music, and then this guy I have beef with comes in, he's like, hey! I'm like, what? And he's like, I gotta talk to you outside. I'm like, oh shit, this feels so real, you know? And I come outside expecting to get into a fight. And he's like, hey man! And I'm like, what? And he's like, hey man, I think we should be friends again. And I was like, really? Like, where the fuck is this coming from? Next street, all right, I'm sitting on the back porch with my grandfather in Pittsburgh, right? He's smoking a blunt. That should have been the first tell. My grandfather is an immigrant, he does not smoke weed, and he's not against it per se, but he's not a fan of it. Anyway, so we're smoking a blunt, and he's like, you know what, Nico? He's like, you know why they named this gelato? And I'm like, the weed? And he was like, they wouldn't have named the strain after this like milky ass ice cream that the Americans are giving you. And I was like, Papa, that doesn't make any sense. Like, ice cream? And he was like, Nico, Italian ice cream gelato is so much better. There's no way that you could ever compare or name a weed strain after ice cream. It wouldn't be good. He's like, it's truly the worst atrocity to the American man. I said, ice cream? He said, yes. Then I wake up. It's still nighttime. Now, this has happened to me before. I wake up and I'm still in a dream. So I pull out my laptop and I start going on a Pornhub. And thankfully I didn't find any videos. I'm glad that my ex would never actually do that. But that, god damn it, that shit is scary. I have no idea what Freud is trying to tell me. Maybe I'm just scared of what is to come. But the ice cream bit, I don't know what that is about. That might be about my mother. All right, thank you guys. Have a good night.
So it goes up but not down?
It's here.
You know, it's fine. No, man. It doesn't talk. I have to fix this for the next comedian. Alright. Well, anyways, next up, everybody's favorite Sammy Tamimi. So give him a big round of applause. Oh well.
Open up, Sammy!
It's nice to have one foreigner support me. Hey everybody, how you guys feeling? It's good. I'm actually not feeling too well. I have this thing where I really don't like my own kind. Brown people. So let's talk about them.
So,
I was at this Ramadan event not too long ago. Ramadan's been going on for a few days. So, essentially, people wait till sunset to start feasting. People pray together and they start feasting. It's a holy month where people go back to Islam from their morbid sinning. So I walk in there like a complete stranger, and I start looking around at everybody, and they were beautifully praying together, eating together, and I was like, I've seen all of these guys at Tots making out with strangers. Look at these fuckers. Even the ones with hijabs are making out with strangers at Tots. But I could tell, man, they're trying to better their lives. And I have this thing where I really hate when people try to do good things for their own lives. It's like when they go back to their own faith, or they go to counseling.
because I'm very morbidly depressed. So anyway, I feel like the English language has been deteriorating in America. Do you guys agree? Yeah? Like when foreigners come to this country, you expect them to speak English, right? That's how we start dividing the crowds. So, I feel like the word vibe, man, is so overused. Vibe is used to describe every single thing in your life. So like, hey man, my parents died in a car crash. That's not a vibe. God damn it, dude, there's no real words or emotions there anymore. So, anyways, I went out on a date a few weeks ago, and it was with a lady. We went to Sugar Magnolias, yeah. It's great, they're allowed to go out, it's great. So man, this date was great. Her and I were going back and forth, we're talking, conversation is fluid. And there was a good amount of people at Sugar Magnolias, and she decides to speak up quite loudly and say, hey Sammy, you text like an old man. I was like, why, what happened? She said, well look, and it says, hey Sammy, I had a great night last night, and I say, likewise. What the fuck is so old about likewise? It's a normal English. So, I lose my shit because everything's going well. I lose my shit because I've been studying English for 15 years. I moved to this country by myself with the skin of my nuts, man, trying to speak well, trying to give a good example. And I was like, I'm not going to succumb to your shit English, lady. That's good. So that very evening, everything went so well, I proceeded to ejaculate and evacuate. Or as some of you lower classes call it, come and go. I was in an airplane, not surprisingly, a few months ago. There's always good connotations of an Arab guy in an airplane. No, I was flying back from Fort Lauderdale, and I was having this amazing conversation with this lady, man. We were going back and forth. You ever talk to someone and you don't even have to think about conversation topics? It's so amazing, it's so fluid, everything is just rolling, right? So we're talking and talking, and out of nowhere, turbulence hits. Everybody gets nervous. The airplane starts shaking. You look through the windows, it's white everywhere, it's all clouds. And I reached a point, spiritually, where I'm just okay with the concept of death. So I decided to speak up about it. And I was like, hey, listen, it's okay if we die. Very quickly I realized it's not okay to say that if you look like this. Thank you so much, everybody. My name is Sammy Tamimi. This is my 10th show at the Milk Parlor. I love this place. I love it. Thank you so much.
Finally. Okay. It's a bit of a running joke now, isn't it, right? Okay, so next up, we have, he'll blow you away, Kanan Phillips. Give him a big round of applause.
Y'all can clap louder than that, come on. Oh, y'all really just wrap this around me, huh? Okay, get that out of the way. Alright, so yeah, I know what you're thinking. Wow, that inflatable sumo wrestler suit is surely realistic. No. But how are we doing? We enjoyed the show so far? Yeah? Alright, I'm your last guy before our big guy coming up. Big guy doing 30 minutes. 30 minutes, how about that? But yeah, I've been doing comedy for a while now, a little over 3 years, and I've done a lot of interesting places. But recently, I did comedy at this religious center. How many people know what Hillel is? Anybody? Any Hillel?
All right, yeah, for like 90% of you that don't know. Well, that was like an organization for students of Jewish faith so that they can stay in touch with their, like, you know, religious roots. And we did comedy there, but it wasn't just comedy. It was like the whole 9 yards. It was a dinner, it was a service, it was anything. Now I showed up. Now here's the thing. I'm Catholic. I'm just a shitty Catholic. So we get there. They're about to have the service, and I'm like, hey, should I really go and sit in on the service, not really knowing anything about the religion? But then I thought, hey, I'm a comedian, and I'm Catholic, so we're going right in. Okay. But yeah, it was nice. They talked about the power of God, you know, and how love is a powerful force, which is beautiful. And then they started to sing in Hebrew. Now here's the thing, I'm a music major, and even though they had English translations for whatever they were saying, I could not, for the life of me, follow the rhythm. I couldn't find it. Like, have you ever tried to make up hieroglyphics? A squiggly line and a star in the sky. A circle, and a smiley face. Like, what the fuck? I'm pretty sure I just started saying shit I needed from Walmart at some point. A pizza pie, shampoo, shaver, strong, ice cream, and shoes. Yeah. Alright. I got a story for y'all though. This is called the Why I Hate Asparagus story. So I was about like, I think 12, 13 when this happened. And me and my mom, we flew down to Florida because it was for my aunt's wedding, right? It's for my aunt's wedding. Now, a couple of nights before, we were having dinner with the family, right? We were all sitting around, and I forget what the main part of it was, but I distinctly remember I had white asparagus with it. I reluctantly ate it because I was a child, so I just hated all vegetables. Yeah, next couple days I had horrendous diarrhea, just horrendous, like Taco Bell plus prune juice type bad. It was not a good look. It was not a good look. So then a couple days later, the wedding happens, right? The ceremony, right? And I was supposed to be the ring bearer. So we're just all sitting around there. I'm in my nice little fat boy suit, and I was sitting, they're all doing the vows and whatnot. And I noticed some gurgling happening in my stomach. And then I just proceeded to fart so profusely. Like, you ever squeeze the last bit out of a ketchup bottle? Like, imagine that. And then imagine that coming out of, like, the giant speaker that was in Back to the Future. It was audible. Like, you heard that shit for miles. My uncle thought it was a goose dying in the background. But then learned that it was me, and then proceeded to call me Rocket Man. It was, yeah. Yeah. So that's why I hate asparagus. All right. We got one more thing because we got a new crown for our big guy. All right. So I work at one of the dining halls, right? And I'm friends with like the chefs. But one of them was telling me about this woman who owns a company. And you can send them bags of like shedded dog hair, I would assume, off your pet. So you just send them these amounts of dog hair and they make it into yarn for you. Now here's the thing, that's not even white people shit. That's just like crazy ass people shit. But on the other hand, this has the means to be the greatest prank pulled of all time. Like, let me walk you through this. One, I wouldn't even send them dog hair. I send them my pubes and tell them it's off a Pomeranian. And then I just wait. I'd wait for them to have it made, and then they give it to me, get it all nice and made into a sweater. But here's the thing, you just don't give that away. You just don't give that away. You wait until Christmas, right? For that one relative you think is a dick. And then you just give it to them. Then they try it on. It's like, ooh, wow. This is so thin, so smooth. What is this, cashmere? Or is this, no. Is it silk? No. Well, what is it? It's my pubes. Where's the fucking Purell? All right, that's my name, Tom. My name's Kanan Phillips. Get home safe, y'all. Oh, boy. We're struggling.
Thank you. Thank you. Tom.
I had sweat right. Okay. Next up, we have our closer. Okay, so he is a nationwide touring. Okay, he has a special coming up on a dry bar special. He opened for David Copperfield. Mark Matusof. Give him a big round of applause.
Thank you guys. Thanks. Yes, I'm the last act tonight, so thank you guys coming out. Hey, one more time, the Comedy Conglomerate. Thank them. I want to thank them for having me down here around for everybody else who's out tonight. If I had a nickel, every time I had to file a large guy taking his shirt off, I'd have a nickel. All right, so this is great. My name is Mark Patuso. I actually live in Northern Virginia. And, oh, thanks. Cool. I need a ride home. No, it's a nice drive down. It's a nice drive down. Except that little stretch of highway between like Roanoke and here has got to be. That has got to be the road rage capital of America. I swear to God. I was driving. I had a guy cut me off. He gave me the finger. What the hell's that about? You know? Because I'm sorry. If I'm driving on the road, you cut me off, and I got to jam on my brakes, I get the finger right away. You're only allowed to use your finger after a single person's my finger. And I think we know that's the rules of engagement. Finger, finger, fist, fist, bump, Glock, duck. Some of you guys are packing. Okay, it's okay, we'll move on. Nice drive, man. I had to pay for my gas in Bitcoin, but it's a nice drive down. It's all right, so. That's what I do by being a comic. I travel all over the country, and maybe some of you guys are transplants here from other parts of the country. You notice the language changes? Well, people in different parts of the United States use different words to mean different things. I'm an East Coast guy. I grew up drinking soda. Across the Midwest, it's not soda, it's pop. East Coast, the groceries go in a bag. Most of the Midwest is not a bag, it's a sack. I had no idea. I'm in Indiana, in a convenience store. I put a can of Coke on the counter. I told the girl, put the soda in the bag. She says, oh, you want to pop in the sack? Wow, this store certainly is convenient. This is like the best Quickie Mart ever. Wow. And I hate when people try to get too cute with language, a little bit too cute. This one time I'm in a steak restaurant, and a whole place is done up in this Western cowboy decoration. I go to the bathroom. The restaurant's labeled Colts and Phillies. I'm a city kid. I never, really? Colts and Phillies? What do it look like? Seabiscuit? I have no idea, you know, because in my little mind, I'm thinking, okay, the Colts play football. The Phillies play baseball. I don't know if I'm supposed to bunt or punt. They're all supposed to do it here, you know? This is as bad as time as a foreign restaurant, and the bathrooms are labeled Ignore and Dufnash. At the hell in the end, they had a picture of a butter churn and a wagon wheel in the doors. Only to find out, those are the closets, but they kept the butter churns and the wagon wheels. And every place there is slang words and slang expressions never heard before. This club meeting a few weeks ago, one of the waitresses that week had a really bad cold with a sore throat. But she did not call it a sore throat, she referred to it as a hot box. My point exactly. What am I supposed to think? When an attractive young woman says, you have something for a hot box? Sure, how about a pop in a sack? Would I help? I'm not gonna do it. Listen, I'm glad to be in front of a live audience, man. I'll tell you, COVID was really hard on everybody, especially entertainers. And I got another booster shot. Thank you.
All I can say is Zoom shows really suck. So, wow. I got a booster shot last week, so I'm trying to be. And you know, everybody has to make their own decision about getting boosted or getting your vaccines. When I got my first one, remember they were trying to recruit people who used to give in shots, like veterinarians and dentists to help out. So I got mine from a junkie. And yeah, it's really convenient. Living in a park across the street, very nice. Here's something I learned in life. I learned, maybe you guys noticed this. If you are in a relationship with somebody, no matter what that relationship, any sort of committed relationship, doesn't seem like everywhere you look, there are single, available, attractive people everywhere. But the second you split up, they're all gone. Right? It's like trying to find a cell phone signal in West Virginia. That's what's like, folks. That's not even a joke. I did a show a couple years ago in West Virginia, driving across, had my phone on. It didn't even tell me how many bars there were. All it had was a picture of two hands going. It's tough to find somebody I have a lot in common with, that's my point. I was in a relationship not too long ago, and we split up. We didn't have much in common. I liked to eat hot, spicy food. She liked to sleep with other guys. She ended up it was a marriage, and it didn't work out, and she ended up remarrying another guy. And check this out, her new husband called me up to borrow money. He wanted to borrow $200 from me so he could take her someplace nice for her birthday. I said, wow, Marty, you have got some great cell phone coverage to reach me here on Earth all the way from your planet. Dude, read the packaging. We got the Barbie doll. Accessories are not included. You know, I'm still friends with my ex. I finally asked her, I said, listen, babe, it's not my business. What are you seeing this guy? He spends money on me. Yeah, I know, it's affecting my credit. It's tough to have a lot in common with. I had a girlfriend who loved the way European guys dress and went dressing like a European guy. And I do not understand European fashion for men. Because one time as a present, she buys some little leather bag. Says I put my change, my driver's license, my keys in, and it had straps so I could wear it over my shoulder like the guys do in Europe. I said, well, thank you, but you know what? In America, that's a purse. And I am so not going to wear it in public. And she said, well, why not? Why not? Because I have no shoes to match it. It's a purse, and how's wrong with it? So again, just because I wouldn't wear this thing, she says I'm homophobic. I'm not homophobic. What I am afraid of is putting on my new purse and then running into a bunch of guys who are homophobic. I think that makes me homophobophobic, if anything, right? Cuts both ways, though. Hey, guys, here's a piece of advice to learn. Never, ever buy women clothing as a present. Right, girls? Always pick out your own stuff. Give them cash, a gift card, pick out their own stuff. That's what I did last year for my last girlfriend. For her birthday, I got her a gift card to Lane Bryant. And I didn't know that Lane Bryant is the big and tall store for women. I didn't know that. The difference, the big and tall store for men says big and tall. All Lane Bryant says is fashion, accessories, and women, which tells me nothing. Because seriously, if I was going to guess which store by name was for larger sized women, I would have guessed Dress Barn. Or Big Lots, one of the two. I don't know, neither one. It's just stuff, though. You know, you get a bad gift when the person giving you the present says, it's the thought that counts. They ought to just say, here's a big box of shit with a bow on it. That's what they should say. Let me tell you, my aunt went to Scotland last year, so as a present, she got me a kilt. Where in the hell am I going to wear a kilt? Well, I wore it once, but that shouldn't count because that was laundry day. I did. I wore it. I had all my stuff in a wash, had the kilt on. You know, that thing was comfortable. I forgot I had it on. Of course, everybody else in the laundromat noticed. They are staring at me going, wow, that is the ugliest Catholic stroll I've ever seen in my life. I have one female friend that likes to buy me houseplants as a gift. Houseplants. Nice gesture. Except I can't take care of plants, they just perish in my care. Every time she says, oh, here's a little plant, just to brighten up your bedroom. Yeah, because you know, nothing is cheerier than waking up the brown wilting foliage. That is very effective. She's one of these crazy plant people. She doesn't have to talk to my plants. You know these people? You have to talk to your plant. Say something, speak to your plant. Yeah, welcome to death row. Here's the gets for this woman. She has to walk right past my ugly lawn to give me the plant. That should be a red flag right there. The only thing on my lawn that's green is a Heineken bottle. It's not going to dry. I tried this last year. I made it look good. I bought so much fertilizer. I got a visit from the FBI. And even then, the agent said, you know what, I'd buy a couple more bags if I was you, all right? Women are much better with taking care of plants than guys are. Although I shouldn't generalize, because I do have one buddy of mine who is very good with plants. I know, because he grows them in his basement or blacklight. He talks to his plants a lot. I just found the potheads. They're looking at me right now. I'll be right back. I forgot something in the car. Come back a half hour later. I forgot what I forgot. Here's the worst bad gift story to share with you guys. My parents were married for 50 years. My dad had a real talent. My mother, the worst presents in the world. But ladies, think about the worst thing you ever got you. Multiply times a billion. Here's what my dad actually bought my mom once for anniversary. My dad bought my mom a cemetery plot. Oh, and my dad was bragging about it. Hey, you know, I managed to get 2 of them, side by side. Like they're playoff tickets. I mean, really, Dad? The funniest thing to me is my mom turned to me and said, I'll tell you something, one of them's going to get used tomorrow. My dad was a piece of work. I remember when I was 6 years old, I asked my dad to take me to the zoo. Instead, he took me to the horse track. He said, you know, this is even better than the zoo, because you get to see animals and you learn money management skills. Wait till we got home. Mommy, Daddy took me to the zoo. What was your favorite animal? Number 3, horse in the 5th. So my dad passed away a few years ago. My mom retired, moved out to California. About 3 or 4 times a year, I try and fly out there to see her. But in her mind, it's like I'm driving home from college. She has boxes of stuff to give me that can't possibly take back on the plane. We're talking like an upright lamp, a vacuum cleaner, 4 gallons of soup. Last time she hands me kitchen knives, 7 huge kitchen knives. I said, Mom, I got carry-on. I can't get this on the plane. Why not? Because they frown on weapons. That's why not. She said, they're not weapons. They're cutting meat and cheese and bread and fish. Mom, look at me. I'm one mustache away from being sent to Guantanamo Bay, okay? So tell them at the airport that you're only going to use them in the kitchen. Well, of course, why wouldn't that work? Hey, Mr. TSA guy, oh, all these big-ass knives? I can bring them on board. I have a note from my mother. I tease my family a lot. I know we have a lot of some of the other comics tonight, either first generation or they're immigrants themselves. I'm the first generation. Both my parents are immigrants. And I know it's been a hot button topic, immigration, but you know what gets lost in all the noise? We forget that in this country, we tend to incorporate everybody's culture into ours somehow. As Americans, we do that, and we honor everybody else's culture by taking their holidays and making them a 3-day drinking binge. That's what we do, right? We will drink for holidays in this country. We have no idea what we're drinking. Cinco de Mayo. We have no idea. We're going to stick a lime in a beer and get wasted in a sombrero. Woo, how about that holiday? Yeah. Now, Cinco de Mayo, by the way, that is May 5th, a date in history where Mexico defeated France at the Battle of Puebla. Yeah, what the hell? France lost the battle. Drink up, America. Woo, yeah. Last month, the big one, St. Patrick's Day. And we're drinking St. Patty's Day because a 5th century monk chased the snakes out of Ireland. All right, that calls for the Jaeger bomb. What do you say? Woo, how about that? Yeah. Now, I'm not Irish, so I've always been curious why the Irish thought it was a good idea to cook up corned beef and cabbage and serve it to people drinking beer all day. Obviously, they were not thinking ahead of the morning of March 18th. Here's my theory: the snakes left Ireland voluntarily. This country's founded in alcohol. The Star-Spangled Banner, right? I think we all remember from school, Francis Scott Key wrote the Star-Spangled Banner, but he only wrote the words. He did not write the music. He wrote the words that fit a popular piece of music at the time, which was a rowdy bar song called Anacreon in Heaven. That's true. Our national anthem is set to a drinking song. You know what that means? It means getting this close to having the Star-Spangled Banner sung to the tune of 99 bottles of beer in a row. That's the closest it came, folks. Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's late light what so proudly we hail? Rockets are glam bombs bursting in air. Hand me a beer, is the flag is still there? Play ball! first generation. I travel the whole country. I've met people of every single nationality. I got to tell you guys this, there's going to be one more person. In this country, there's 1/16 Cherokee. I don't know why. It's always Cherokee, always 1/16. Had a guy tell me one time after the show he was half English, half Irish, and 1/16 Cherokee. Well, I think you might cut down the carbs, man. I want to go keto. Here's my opinion of immigration, and I don't want to offend anybody. I will press by saying my mother was a war refugee. My mom was a refugee, had a difficult time getting into this country. That said, I think we do need a wall or a fence line at the border to control it. Otherwise, I hate to put it in these terms, but this country is in danger of being overrun with illegal, undocumented Canadians speaking into this country. Oh, you laugh. They can be right now, we never know. They look just like us. I don't trust Canadians. And I'll tell you why. Because every nationality that comes to this country opens restaurants. Who here has ever dined on Canadian cuisine? I rest my case. I can only think of one Canadian restaurant. Chick-fil-A, eh? Okay. Stupidest joke I'm gonna have. We can move on. It's all right. I'm fascinated with people's nationalities. My next door neighbor is from a Spanish-speaking country. I finally have to ask him, Danny, where are you from, man? What country you come here from? He says, where do you think I'm from, man? I said, Mexico. Man, I'm from El Salvador. Do I look Mexican to you? No, why would I think that? That's absurd. Did I say Mexico? I meant Norway. That's what I thought you were from. I get that all the time. Most people, when they meet me, think I'm Italian. I'm not. I know I grew up in a wise guy neighborhood. You know, I have the speech pattern, the mannerisms, the affectations. I'm actually Romanian. Okay. And 1/16 Cherokee. Does that help you guys? My movie is Dancing with Werewolves. I realize Romania is a country you never hear about, except during the Summer Olympics every 4 years, right? All gymnastics girls show up, grab the medals, run back to Romania. I love that about the Summer Games, is sometimes small countries win medals. You know, a small country wins a gold at the Olympics, that's going to mess up the guy whose job it is to play national anthems at the award ceremony. Right, the guy's got his box of anthems, hit him with one. The winner, Ecuador. You're shitting me, really? I didn't have Ecuador in a box, man. I have to play Santana, hope nobody notices. Let me do that. Please rise to the Ecuador national anthem. Oye, como va? Yes, ladies, this is how I dance, huh? Yeah. Really, girls, glad you told us we thought a middle-aged white guy had a seizure on the stage. Okay. I'm at that age, though. I know a lot older than most of you guys. I'm at that age where I got to start thinking about these medical procedures that guys don't want to think about. Although I saw the ad on TV for Cologuard. You seen that Cologuard? It's like alternative to a colonoscopy. So instead of doing the procedure, you just send a stool sample off to a lab. Basically, you crap in a box and stick it in the mail. I'm skeptical. Because when I was 17, I got in a lot of trouble for doing just that. And, so first one born here, I'll tell you what, I legally changed my first name to Mark when I turned 21. My given first name was Matusof. Yeah, Matusof. My entire given name, Matusof Ashnikas Adelish Matusof. I know. The name of my dad, I expect him to be charged with a war crime. Matusof. Great name for a dancing bear. Not too cool for a 7-year-old in the inner city public school system. Because with a name like Matusof, I even got beat up by kids named Cornelius and Stinky. I couldn't even spell my name in school. It was M-Y. M, I have no idea. Kind of embarrassing about my first driver's license. First name, Matusof. Can you spell that for me, sir? No, not really. No, I was reading off the eye chart. Matusof. Every kids game usually names too. Remember kids games, always games like Red Rover, send mucus scab right over. The worst was that name game song. What's your name? Johnny, Bobani, Banana, Fana, Fafani, Mima, Momani. Johnny, what's your name? Matusof. Stinky, go kick his ass. And after that, it was biatch to biatch. That's what we're supposed to say. Hey, a couple things we're getting. Let me plug forward one thing here. During the shutdown, when I wasn't performing, I did a lot of things. I got, besides finishing Netflix, I actually wrote a novel called Green Onions, Death with a Two-Drink Minimum. It's a murder mystery that's set in a comedy club in Baltimore. So if you like comedy and murder mysteries and can tolerate Baltimore, this is the book for you. So I'll just hand it out. It's on Amazon. I'll give you guys, anybody interested, I have like a bookmark that has the link on it, so no hard press selling, okay? And before I get, you guys ready to crank the show for a few minutes and rock and roll? Yeah! 6 of you, perfect, that's what I want. Please, ladies, no more panties thrown at the stage. And it goes double for the guys. Okay. Use the expressions on your faces right now. He said rock and roll, I got Matusof, king of the swamp gypsies up there. Dance for us, gypsy slave boy, dance. It's a mandolin. You guys expected to hear this thing. Turned down for what? Don't you wish your boyfriend was hot like me? Okay, I'll take that as a no. When I was a kid, it was rough because all my buddies had the garage bands, the amps, and speakers, and they invited me over. Dude, bring little sissy guitars over here, man. And we'll wail on some Zeppelin. Yeah, that was Stairway to Venice is what that was, guys. Stairway to Venice. Cherokee Nation. Except 1/16 who were Caucasian. Living it up in the hotel in California. Such a lovely place. No habla inglés. The only worse than hearing a mandolin play rock music is hearing it sung in Romanian. I have an example for you guys. Oh baby. Just the girls. And no, it came out tonight thinking, wow, I hope there's someplace in Blasburg we can hear Romanian rock and roll. It's not a rock instrument. I'll tell you the medley mostly in the movies. The best known medley theme song came out of this movie. 50th anniversary this year. Caddyshack. The question is The Godfather, also known as the New Jersey National Anthem. I'll leave you guys with this. If the medley was even halfway cool, Jimi Hendrix would have played it. choice.
Excellent. So that was Mark Matusof. Wow, okay. That was incredible. Now we better get out of here before Salsa Night literally tears our heads off. Okay, so I'm gonna plug our Instagram. Okay, we're comcon.vt. Go check our YouTube. We just put a new video up. Spider-Man going through Blacksburg. It's a guy dressed in a suit, don't worry about it. So yeah, if you like our stuff, come check us out. We have one more show after this. Is our final show of the year. It's gonna be in 2 weeks, okay? So make sure to pay attention on the Instagram, all right? Also, shout out to UPS for like funding us out of the blue. They just gave us a bunch of money, so yeah, go check them out. That's the one on Main Street, all right? So go check them out. Thank you, everyone. Have a great night.